All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dina, and I'm here at Elderworks Center here in Palatine. Elderworks is a non-for-profit organization that helps seniors with all aspects of aging: advocacy, aging counseling, senior resources, senior housing needs, and a little bit of everything. On top of that, we have different programs like our Make a Senior Smile card program, where volunteers make cards that we deliver to seniors that are homebound or in a situation where they're a little isolated and we want to bring a smile to their face, or our Stepping Out to Fitness program, which trying to keep our fall prevention classes sort of part of that is keeping everybody strong. But our Stepping Out to Fitness, this is our shirt.
Okay.
Both sides. So if you're part of the Stepping Out to Fitness program and you want to get your shirt, please stop by the center and pick that up. It is a free program for anyone that just tracks their exercise each month, and then you're entered in to win a raffle prize. It's normally a gift card each month, and then at the end of the year, we do have one grand prize winner, and last year's grand prize won a TV. So we do have that. If you have any questions, you can always call the Elderworks Center at 847-46. I just did that wrong. 847-462-0885. I was doing it right and double checked myself. So we have that. In front of me today, and in our presentation today, is a lovely woman named Brenda. And Brenda brings years of an experience as a therapist, and she is going to be presenting on fall prevention exercises. And I'm going to turn it over to Brenda. Her information will appear in the chat a little bit later, so that if you have any questions for her after today's presentation, you can reach out. But any questions you have during the presentation today, please do put those in the chat. We'll have Brenda answer those at the end. Brenda, Elderworks is very grateful that you are presenting today for us. Thank you so much, and I'll turn this over to you.
Thank you, Dina. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here, everyone, today. I want to commend you all for being willing to put in the work with these exercises to improve your balance. My name is Brenda Bogue. I've worked as a physical therapist for about 25 years now. I am the owner of the company called No Place Like Home Physical Therapy, and I offer physical therapy in the home for older adults under a private pay basis. A large part of the work that I do as a clinician is balance training, fall prevention. My passion and my goal is to help older adults to live the most active life possible, and to age well, to do the things that are important to them, hopefully stay in their own home. And I love what I do. Today I'll be instructing you guys in 12 exercises. And the first 5 have to do with your posture, but your posture is directly related. It does affect your balance. And then the last 7 will be standing balance exercises. So before we get started with the exercises, I'd like to just spend a few minutes educating you more about the important topic of fall prevention. As we age, our balance can start to deteriorate, increasing the risk of a fall. More than 1 in 4 older adults report falling annually, and it is a leading cause of injury-related hospitalizations and death in the elderly. Sadly, many people who fall, older adults who fall and break a hip, don't return home to live, and a high percent don't survive 18 months. So whatever we can do to reduce the risk of falling, and that's what I'm here to help with today. Feeling unsteady can have a huge impact on your confidence. Some of you out there that might have balance deficits know this. So this can in turn lead you to avoiding certain activities and generally just being less active. And unfortunately, this quickly turns into a vicious cycle. The less active you are, the weaker your muscles become, and the more unsteady you feel. Muscle weakness and impaired balance, they're very common factors that can lead to a loss of balance. And usually, I believe they are the #1 contributor. There are many things that can contribute to a fall, but definitely balance and strength, muscle weakness is one of the leading ones. The good news is that evidence has shown that performing strength and balance exercises can help improve your balance and reduce your risk of falls. As with any skill, you need regular practice to maintain this ability, your ability. Therefore, it's recommended that you do these exercises at least 2 times a week. I just want to briefly review a couple of the main contributors to falls, and then we'll get started. So, certain medicines that you might be taking or combinations of medicines can cause dizziness, can cause blurred vision, make you drowsy. And so it's important that you have if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, to talk with your doctor because they can make adjustments, or your pharmacist. Vision deficits, it's really important that you get regular eye checks to make sure that if you wear eyeglasses, or if you need to be wearing them, that they're the proper prescription. Because like I said, vision deficits can cause falls. There's also evidence that has shown that older adults who wear bifocal glasses outside of the home have an increased risk of falling. That's because that area right in front of you where you're stepping becomes kind of blurred, and it's easy to misjudge that and misstep, especially when you're outdoors, where it's an unfamiliar environment, maybe uneven surfaces. So it's recommended that older adults wear single lenses when outside the home. And we just did this for my mother. We just got her a pair of single lenses for use outside of the home. Hearing deficits, that can triple your risk of falling. So it's important to get, hearing aids, and also for other reasons. One topic that I address with my clients is footwear. Okay, so we want to avoid shoes or slippers that don't have a back to them. It's far too easy to stumble out of the shoe's open heel. The closed heel is going to prevent the feet from sliding so much, which can cause problems with balance and stability. Just a quick story, my mom we just recently got her some slip-on, good supportive, but they are slip-on shoes, and she happened to wear a thin pair of socks, and she was at church, and she was in line for communion. She was the next person up, and because those shoes were a little bit too loose, she kind of stumbled and almost knocked the priest over that had the communion, but fortunately she was able to catch herself. So my point being is, it's important that your shoes are snug. It's best to wear a light shoe. Heavy shoes, when people wear shoes that are too heavy, you tend to shuffle. And it's also important that you have shoes with outer soles that have a strong textured rubber for traction, and a low heel for stability. Lastly, one of the last contributors I want to go over that can cause a fall is environmental factors. When I make my first visit in the home with my client, I do a home safety assessment. I make recommendations for modifications or equipment that will help you be safer in your home, such as installing a grab bar inside the shower, maybe one right outside of the shower, so you have something to hold on to when you're stepping over the lip of the shower or the tub. Removing loose rugs. It's too easy to step on one of those and just slip. Rugs or area rugs that are kind of thick, you can catch your toe under, so we recommend either remove them or tack them down. So those are just a couple of the contributors, things that can contribute to falls. So now let's begin with the actual exercise program. I'm going to move my chair back a little bit here so you guys can hopefully see my feet here. Okay, how's that, Suze? Good. Okay, so the first few exercises that we're going to be doing, seated in a chair. So you're going to want to sit in your chair, and you're going to want to scoot forward so that you're not leaning back in the chair. You're going to sit upright with good posture. Your feet are going to be supported on the ground, shoulder width apart. I'm going to demonstrate each exercise first, and then I'll have you join in for the exercise. So the first exercise we're going to do are called ankle pumps. So I'm going to slide my feet back a little bit underneath me, and I'm going to push down like this, like I'm pushing gas pedals. Okay, feel my calf muscles contracting. So I'm going to have you go ahead and join me. We're going to do 10 of these. We're going to push down, lifting those heels up. 3, like you're pushing down on gas pedals. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. This exercise is important because sometimes as we age, sometimes when we change positions, like from lying down to sitting up or sitting to standing, you can get dizzy. Sometimes people get dizzy or a little lightheaded, and that can lead, and it has led to a fall, can lead to a fall. Before you get up in the morning, if you're laying in bed, or before you go to stand up, especially if you've had experience with dizziness, this is a good exercise to do that help get the circulation going and help prevent the fall. So if you're laying in bed, you can move your foot up, your ankles up and down like this, okay? If you're sitting and before you stand, doing these ankle pumps, again, can help the circulation going. And so let's do one more set of 10 of these. We're going to go ahead and push down, balls of our feet, lifting those heels. 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. If you do experience dizziness with change of position, it is important you talk to your doctor. You might have a condition called orthostatic hypotension, and there's other things that can contribute to dizziness too, but it is important you let your doctor know so they can get this managed. We don't want you falling, okay? The next exercise we're going to do is the toe raises. So I'm going to demonstrate. You're going to slide your feet out in front of you a little bit, and your feet are shoulder width apart here, and you're going to pull up your toes up towards you and down like this. Okay, simple exercise. You guys can join me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a break. You should feel the muscles in the back of the the front of your shins working on that exercise. We're going to do one more set. Go ahead and pull your toes up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The importance of this exercise is, I'm kind of stand back so you guys can see me a little bit. When these muscles here that this exercise where you pull your toes up, those are the muscles that are responsible for foot clearance when you're walking, when you swing your leg through, okay? So if you could see me here when I'm stepping, okay? I'm stepping, I'm swinging my leg through, you pull your toes up so you don't trip when you walk. You pull your toes up, you strike the ground first with your heel and then your toe. Pull your toes up, heel, and your toe. What happens as we get older, sometimes these muscles get weak, and what happens is you don't have the strength to pull those toes up, and you end up taking a small step and hitting the ground with your toes first, and that's called shuffling. This is the #1 cause of falling, is shuffling, which leads to tripping. So it's a simple exercise doing these toe raises that are really important for foot clearance when you swing your leg through with walking. Okay. The next 3 exercises that we're going to be doing are for your posture. Your posture is directly related to your balance. Okay, so good posture. I'm going to stand again so you can see me. Okay, good posture. Can you see me? Is when your head is lined over your shoulders over your hips, and over your ankle. Okay. So when I'm balanced, my center of gravity, the center of gravity is where you carry your weight, kind of the average spot, which is at your belly button. You want your center of gravity to be right over your base of support. Your base of support is the space between your feet. So if you can see me here, my belly button, my center of gravity is right over my base of support. Got good balance. What happens is we get sloppy, our muscles get weak or tight, and we start having this posture of what we call forward head, and we're kind of slouching and our shoulders are rolled forward. That moves our center of gravity forward. And this makes us unsteady a little bit. So these exercises I'm going to show you are to help correct your posture, realign your posture for better balance. Okay. The first exercise that we're going to do is called the chin tuck exercise. Okay. So in this exercise, you're going to sit up. I'll demonstrate first. You're going to sit up with a nice straight spine, but you're going to let your head just kind of relax. You know how we just kind of sometimes let our heads hang out in front of us? This exercise, the chin tuck, is going to realign your head back over the shoulder where it belongs. So what you're going to do is basically you're just gliding your head straight back. You're pulling your head straight back like this, like you're doing a double chin. You're going to feel a gentle stretch. You're going to feel a stretch at the base of your neck. Those are the muscles that get tight. Okay. And it's going to strengthen the muscles in the front of your neck. So we're going to do that together. It's just a subtle motion. Okay. Again, so go ahead and sit up tall. Go ahead and let your head relax a little bit, kind of like that forward head. Okay. And you're going to go ahead. If it helps, you can take 2 fingers on your chin and you're just going to glide back, hold it. 1, 2, 3, and then relax. Straight back, like you're doing a double chin. 1, 2, 3, and relax. You want to be careful when you do this not to tip your head back or forward. We're going to do a couple more. Pull it straight in, hold, 2, 3, and relax. Pull straight back. 1, 2, 3, and relax. One more. Pull straight back. 1, 2, 3. Again, what you're doing is realigning that head over your shoulders. It's a great exercise. It's to check yourself when you're standing or when you're walking, okay? And to correct that posture. The next exercise is the shoulder roll. So, you know, we tend to slouch like this when you're standing or even sitting. When you're standing, you slouch. Those muscles in the front of your chest and the front of your shoulders get tight. So this is a great exercise to stretch those muscles out and get those shoulders back. Okay, so I'll demonstrate first. You're just sitting with good posture, and all you're going to just rest your hands on your lap. You're just going to gently shrug your shoulders up, roll them back and down. Okay, so shrug them up, roll them back and down. And it actually feels really good. You're going to feel a nice stretch. So let's do them together. We'll do about 5. Go ahead and shrug your shoulders up, roll back and down. Shrug up, roll back and down. It's 2. Up, roll backward and down. Up, roll back and down. Up, roll back and down. If you do a lot of work at a computer, these 2 exercises and the next one I'm going to show you are really good exercises to stop every hour or 2 and do a few of these. Okay. The next exercise is the shoulder pinch exercise. When we're standing like this and we're kind of slouched forward, we have that forward head. Our shoulders are kind of rounded. The muscles between your shoulder blades, they get stretched out and they get weak. Okay, so this shoulder pinch exercise is going to strengthen those muscles So you are able to hold yourself upright for good posture. Okay, so basically all you're going to do is just sit, relax your arms. You're going to move your arms straight back and just pinch those blades together, shoulder blades. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Going straight back, pinching those shoulder blades, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. You want to be careful that you're not elevating or shrugging your shoulders. So let's do a set of these together. Relax your arms. You're going to go ahead and bring your elbows straight back, pinching those shoulder blades. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Pinch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel a nice stretch in the front of your chest and in front of your shoulders. Pinch 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. Pinch 2, 3, 4, 5. And pinch 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Okay. The next exercise we're going to do is one of my favorites. It's called the chair stand exercise, and I like it because it's a very functional exercise. It strengthens your leg muscles, your core muscles, and it works on your balance. I have many clients who, when I come to see them, will say, Brenda, I just, it used to be so effortless getting up off the chair or off the toilet or off the bed. And now, it's sometimes a struggle to stand up. And so this exercise will help you with that. And I'm going to demonstrate it first. So you're scoot forward in your chair, your feet are flat, and you're going to have your feet a little bit underneath you. Okay. And I want to show you guys something. Some people, when they go to stand up, this happened to my mom recently. She went to stand up off the bed. She told me she was up about, 2/3 of the way, and then she fell back on her heels and fell. Thank goodness the bed was behind her, and fell back at the bed. And when I was practicing this class in front of her the other day, she said, that's what happened to me. Of course, she didn't even tell me she fell, or almost fell. And so we worked on this. I instructed her on body mechanics. So when you do this exercise, we never had to think about this for years, we just get up, but good body mechanics is you're going to come forward. I like to refer to this as your nose beyond your toes. Come forward so that your center of gravity is over your base of support. Forward. Then you're going to push down through heels and use those legs to push yourself up. You stand up, your balance. When you sit down, you're going to stick those hips back and down and sit down slowly. So you're coming forward. When you come forward, your weight has to be far enough forward. If you let those shoulders, if they start falling back, as you're rising, you're going to fall back on your heels. Okay, so we're going to do a set of 5 together. Again, these are called the chair stands. So your feet are slightly underneath you. If you can do this exercise without using your arms, that's great. If you need to use your arms, that's fine. If you're able to do, if you do need to use your arms, that does put you at a little bit higher risk of falling. So eventually, after doing this exercise, you might find that you've gained enough strength where you're able to do this without using your arms. So here we go. You're going to go ahead and lean forward, nose behind your toes, push with your heels and your legs, stand up. Make sure you got your balance. Okay, and now you're going to push your hips back and down and sit down slowly. Okay, let's try that again. Come forward, push with those heels, come straight up. Good posture, and back. We're gonna do 3 more, and down. Okay, forward, nose behind your toes, good body mechanics, come up and down. We want to avoid crash landings, so stick your bottom out, back into the chair, use those legs to lower yourself. 2 more, come up, okay, and down, and just go at your own pace. 1 more. Now, if you want to make this, you can modify a lot of these exercises. You want to make this more challenging, Again, don't use your arms, or you can use a lower chair. If it's too challenging, you could add a cushion, or just use a higher chair, or use your arms to start out with. Okay, very good functional exercise. Okay. Next, we're going to move on to some of the standing balance exercises. And I realize in this group there's varying levels of ability. Therefore, it's important that you know your pace and limits to ensure safety when you're performing these exercises. Okay, these exercises are going to challenge. They're meant to challenge your balance, so your balance improves. But we certainly don't want anyone falling trying to do these. So that's why I'm going to advise you. I'll be using a sturdy chair, or you could use a sturdy piece of furniture when you're doing these to hold on to lightly, or the kitchen counter works really well. And I suggest you start out with 2 hands lightly when we first start doing these exercises. I'll be demonstrating first. And then if you feel comfortable and you feel like you need to be challenged more, just lift one hand up a little bit. Or some of you guys might be able to lift both hands. I just recommend just keep your hands hovering, above that stable surface, just in case you lose your balance. You can just put your hand down. Okay. So this next exercise is called the side leg raise. Let's see, it's going to be good to show you guys here. So on the side leg raise, this strengthens the outer hip muscles, which are key muscles for your balance, whether you're standing or you're moving. Okay, so I'll do a couple and then we'll do them together. We're going to try to go for 10 on each side. What you're going to do is I'm going to have my feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to shift my weight onto my left leg, and my left knee is going to have a soft bend. Okay, so and all the exercises, make sure you don't lock your knee. So I've got a soft bend on that knee. You're going to take your right leg. You're going to lift it up, go off to the side to feel a little tension in the hip, and come back down. Okay, up to the side, and back down. Notice when I'm doing this that my toes are pointed forward, they're not rotated out. And also I'm not leaning with my trunk. Okay. You're gonna feel the leg you're standing on you're gonna feel those muscles working. Those are really working hard on it. So let's do this together. Stand up and hold on to whatever your stable surface is. Maybe your counter, a chair. Go ahead and get your feet shoulder width apart, okay? And what you're gonna do is shift your weight onto your left leg, a little soft bend in that left knee. Okay, you're gonna take your right leg, foot, lift it up, move it out to the side, so you feel a little tension in your hip, and bring it back down slowly. We're gonna go for 10. If you can't do 10, that's fine. Just do what you can. 2, keeping your trunk stable. Your toes are pointed forward. I think this is 4. Good work. It's great exercise. Most of us have weak, we call these hip abductor muscles. And so this is just a really important exercise. We're going to do 3 more. Okay. Keep that left knee a little bit bent. 2. Good work. And 1 more. And now we're going to switch sides. Okay, so what you're going to do is shift your weight onto your right leg. You're going to have a soft bend in your right knee. Pick up your left foot, lift it out to the side, and bring it back in. Lift it out. That's 2 and 3. Good posture. 4, 5. Feel those muscles in your right hip working. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great job. With strengthening exercises and balance exercises, if I was working with you one-on-one like I do in the home setting, kind of the rule of thumb is if you're doing a strengthening exercise, you want to do enough repetitions where the last couple are fairly difficult. Not so difficult that you lose your form, but that they're challenging you. If you truly, if you just to ensure that you're strengthening. For these balance exercises, some of these we're just going to be doing for 15, you're timing yourself. And on those, you just try to increase the time on that. With strengthening exercises, if you can get up to maybe 15 repetitions without a weight, you know, like we're doing this exercise, then you can add like a light ankle weight, put a 2-pound weight. Okay, and again, you always want those last couple to be a little more challenging to ensure you're strengthening. Okay. The next exercise is the heel toe raise. When we're standing and we start to lean in like a certain direction slightly, we start leaning. We have sensors in our ankles that notice these small movements, and they relay this message to our brain, which sends a message to our muscles to fire, to pull us upright again so we don't fall. These built-in sensors, it's called proprioception. These built-in sensors that we have throughout our body, and I'm referring to the ones in the ankles right now, they can't work properly if our ankle muscles are rigid or real tight, or if the muscles are too weak to react to the balance changes, okay? So practicing going up on your toes and rocking back on your heels improves the movement in your ankles while strengthening the muscles. So I'm gonna demonstrate what this looks like first. So I'm standing here holding onto my sturdy object, chair. My feet are shoulder width apart, and the first part of this exercise, I'm going to go up on my toes, lifting my heels, and I'm getting taller. Then I'm going to come back down, and then I'm going to lift my toes up. Okay, and then go back down, go up my toes, lifting those heels. Notice how I'm getting taller. I go shifting my weight on my heels, pulling my toes up. When you're going up, you want to make sure that you're going straight up. You're not rocking, see this? Forward. Often I see people do this incorrectly. You're going straight up. And when you're going back, you want to be careful not to stick your butt out. You just pretty much just moving your feet. So we're going to try this together. We're going to do a set of 10 together. Go ahead and hold on to your chair. Feet are shoulder width apart. Okay. Here we go. You're going to go up on your toes, lifting your heels, getting taller. Come down, pull your toes up. Good. And down. That's 1. Up on your toes, down, and now pull those toes up. 2. Again, you can challenge yourself after doing a couple. If it's not challenging enough, you can let go with 1 hand. Some of you might, this one's kind of difficult. I don't even know if I could do it without 2 hands. When you're going back, it's kind of difficult. So toes, this is 5. Pull those toes up. We're going on 6. Lift those heels up. You're getting taller. Come down. Pull up the toes. 7. Straight up. 8. Holding on lightly. Challenge your balance a little bit. 9. Let's do 1 more. Straight up. You should feel that in your calf muscles. When you pull the toes up, you're going to feel it in those muscles in the front of your shin. That's the same muscles that we did when exercise we did sitting when you pull your toes up. When you were pulling your toes up on this exercise, it's going to help you with foot clearance when you walk. Okay, good work. Next exercise is called the alternating toe tap. See, okay, sure. Each time we step, we have to rapidly switch our weight from one side to the other while lifting the other foot. We have to do the same motion when we step like up onto a curb or onto a stair. It requires us to balance on 1 leg briefly, but it also requires coordination to time the movement from side to side, you know, lifting our leg and planting our foot. As we age, we tend to slow down and rapid movements become more difficult. So practicing moving from one foot to another improves your coordination and your reaction time. So if and when you need to rapidly get your foot onto the ground, like if you're stumbling forward, you've practiced it and your body will know what to do. And that's why this is such a good exercise. And I'm going to demonstrate the alternating toe tap. Again, you're standing up with good posture, shoulders back, chest up. You're holding on lightly to your stable surface. And all you're going to do is, again, this is just weight shift back and forth. All walking is controlled weight shifting. So we're going to do this with control. Hold on lightly. I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to tap. If you're at the counter, just tap the base of the counter. Here, I'm just tapping maybe an inch or two the chair, switching legs like this, okay? And then to make it a little harder, I can go faster or I can go higher. Okay, so we're going to do this together. We're going to do 10 taps on each side. So go ahead and hold on to your stable surface. Lightly, hold on lightly. All right, let's start with our right leg. We're going to tap in front of us and tap. This is slow and controlled. Working on our reaction time, working on our weight shift. You need more of a challenge, you can speed up a little. You can tap a little bit higher. You can just hold on with one hand. 5, we're going to do 5 more. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. You can also take a step or some kind of like even a phone book or something and do this exercise if you want something a little bit higher, and you can work, you know, tapping a little higher, and that's requiring you to stand on one leg a little bit longer. Okay. Okay, the next couple exercises are a little more challenging. They're a little bit more advanced. This next one's called the tandem stance. I know outside of being a gymnast, no one walks on a balance beam, but most people do walk with their feet in nearly a straight line, and your heels are almost touching. If you watch me walk, you know, you can see me walking here. I'm walking, normal walking, you're almost walking in a straight line and your heels are almost touching. So walking with your feet close together and standing, that way it requires our ankles to constantly be making small adjustments to keep us centered over our feet. So standing in tandem stance, which is like you're standing on a balance beam, this retrains the brain to pay attention to small movements, okay? And to react to them so it knows what to do if the ankle sense that you're starting to lean one way or the other, and it helps prevent a fall. I'm going to show you how to safely practice the tandem stance, which is just standing with one foot directly in front of the other. I just want to say that if you've had a hip replacement, a lot of times one of the precautions is you're not supposed to cross your legs. So if you have that precaution, don't do this exercise. For the tandem stance, you can see my feet here. Okay, I'll demonstrate first. You're going to put your right foot in front of your left foot so that your right heel is touching your left big toe like this. Okay. Move over a little bit here. Okay. Like this. You're holding on lightly. Now, I'm going to try to put weight on both legs. Start with 2 hands for this because this is a more challenging exercise. And I'm going to try to hold this for 30 seconds. And you are going to feel your ankles, those muscles really working hard to keep you upright. And eventually, if you feel like, okay, I need to be challenged a little bit, you can lift up one hand. We're going to do this up to 30 seconds on each side and just do what you can. If this is too difficult for you, you can see my feet here, you can modify it. Just kind of put like the inside of your foot halfway next to your other foot. I don't know if you can see this, but if you can modify this exercise. Okay, so go ahead and definitely be holding on lightly with 2 hands for this exercise. You're going to take your right foot, place it in front of your left foot so that your right heel is touching your left big toe. Okay, now you should feel weight in both your legs. Now, you're holding on lightly with 2 hands. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. You feel those ankles, and those sensors in your ankles are firing, trying to keep you upright. 15 more seconds. If you need to be challenged more, lift up one hand. I'm going to try, you can even try 2. Just keep your hands close to that stable surface. Good work. This is a hard one. Couple more seconds. Good job. We're going to switch legs. You're going to notice on this exercise and the next one we do, you might notice when you switch legs that one leg is more stable than the other. That's usually the case. So when you do practice these exercises, spend a little bit more time on that weaker leg, the ones that's a little less stable. Okay, now switch sides. You're going to take your left foot, place it in front of your right foot so that your left heel is touching the big toe of your right foot. Okay, you got weight in both legs. Your lead, got a little bend in your knees. Don't lock your knees. And here we go, 30 seconds. Okay, if you start swaying a lot, just stop and put your foot down and you can start again. Okay, here we are. We keep the weight in the middle of our feet. 15 more seconds. And this is strengthening a lot of muscles in our legs right now. Ankles, hips, our core muscles, our abs. A few more seconds. Okay, good work. I just want to say, if you want to, we're not going to do it today, but another exercise, if you feel you want something more advanced, is you can stand along your kitchen counter, holding on to the kitchen counter, and you can work on, like you're walking in a balance beat, heel toe. See how I'm doing this? Heel toe. Okay, so that's just another variation. The next exercise, we've got two left, is a standing on one leg exercise. I know some of you might be thinking, I can't stand on one leg. But unless you're using a cane or a walker, each time you take a step, there's a moment when you are standing on. You have to be able to. So if you're watching me walk, the normal walking pattern, or we call it the gait cycle, you step, plant that leg down, you have to swing, you swing through with your other leg. While you're swinging through, you have to be able to balance on one leg. If you don't have good one leg balance here, what's going to happen is you're going to start taking shorter steps. You see this with people. That's when they start shuffling. You do this exercise. If you're shuffling, or you're taking small steps, and maybe it is because you don't have good one leg stance, work on this exercise, and after doing it for a couple weeks, you'll notice a difference. This exercise is important too, because when you go to step up, like on a curb, or if you're walking in your house and all of a sudden you didn't see something in front of you and you're trying to avoid it, you have to be able to stand on one leg a little bit longer to move your foot away from that so you don't step on that object. So you might today only be able to stand a few seconds. Don't get discouraged. I promise it will be easier. I did this exercise with my mom. We started a month ago. She could stand maybe 2 to 3 seconds on each leg. She's up to almost 10 seconds. I can see it with her walking. She's walking more steady. She's staggering less, and she's taking a more normal stride. Okay, it's a very good exercise. So let's go ahead and do this. So quick demonstration, standing at the chair, holding on with both hands. Okay, I'm just going to shift my weight over to my left leg, lift up that right leg, and I'm going to try to stand like this. Okay, you can lift one hand up, and you just don't want to be moving a lot, and you want to make sure that you're not touching your other leg. Okay, when you lift your leg up, you don't want your hip to drop. So it just looks like this. Okay, if you lose your balance and come down, that's fine. Just start again. Okay, so here we go. Go ahead and hold on to your chair. Shift your weight over to your left leg. Lift up that right leg just a couple inches, and you're going to hold. The goal is to stand up on this leg if you can get up to at least 10 seconds. If you cannot stand on one leg for 10 seconds, you definitely are at increased fall risk. Okay, studies have shown that. If you can go longer, that's great. Okay, put your foot down. Let's try the right leg. Shift your weight to the right leg. Go ahead. Keep your trunk still, lift your left foot up. Here we are, you can feel that ankle working really hard. Trying to keep you upright here. I'm not leaning. Good job, you guys, this is a tough one. Okay, great. Couple more seconds, if you're able to, and down. Okay. The last exercise is called stepping backwards. Most falls happen backwards for a variety of reasons. You might have stiff ankles or weak ankles. Another reason is just that older legs are kind of out of practice for stepping backwards. So every day we walk forward. And so if we start to fall forward, our body knows what to do. Our body knows to take a step, okay, to stop, or to extend our arms to, to stop us from falling. But if we walk back, if we fall backwards, we're not experienced at that, because we're not walking backwards all the time. If we fall backwards, what happens is you either freeze up or become immobilized and you just plunge right down to the floor. Or this has happened to me, I don't know about you guys, but if you lose your balance backwards, you sometimes try to, say you take a lot of mini rapid steps until something stops you, the floor, the counter, okay? So this is, studies have shown that a person who has difficulty stepping backwards, even 2 to 3 steps, has an increased risk of falling. When we're walking forward during the day, there's times we have to shift our weight backwards. And that's what backwards walking is. So this is a very important exercise, okay? So I'm going to demonstrate it. Just stand up at your chair like this. Good posture, okay? You're going to begin with just taking small, alternating steps backwards. Move your weight onto the back foot as opposed to just moving your foot back. You're actually stepping back onto it. As this becomes more comfortable, you're going to take bigger steps, larger steps, and try to get your foot at least past the other foot. The whole idea of this is if you were to lose your balance backwards, this is going to train you, if I'm going to go backwards, to take a step back, to catch yourself, okay, to take a step back. It's also going to help you with weight shift when you're walking forward and you have to shift back on your heels. So let's go ahead and do this together. I know I'm running out of time here, so go ahead and stand up tall, holding on with 2 hands. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start taking small, alternating steps backwards. Make sure you're putting weight into the back foot. Actually step back into it. And as you're able to, you're going to take a little bit larger steps, making sure you're at least stepping past the other foot. And you're trying to do this with just holding on, as much as you need. You want it to be a little challenging. So if you can lift up one hand, that's great. If you can't, it's challenging enough with 2, that's fine. We're going to do a couple more. Good work. Okay, nice job. Another exercise to work, we're not going to do today, but you can go back. We're practicing walking backwards. You can go to your kitchen counter. Counter is great to do exercises. Hold on to that counter. If you really, you have difficulty stepping backwards, be good to have someone with you to guard you, but hold on to the counter and you can start, even just starting taking 2 to 3 steps backwards, holding onto the counter, turning around, working on 2 to 3 steps backwards, and then you can always increase it. Okay. So great work with performing these exercises. I know they can be challenging, but the payoff will be well worth it. I want to conclude with one more important point regarding how you can help reduce your risk of falling. We talked about with walking. We talked about when you walk, the importance of foot clearance. Pull your toe up, heel, toe. You strike the ground. Sorry guys. You're going to strike the ground with your heel first, right? Heel, toe, heel, toe. Now, the other thing I want to mention is that arm swing is important. When you walk, okay, your arms and legs move reciprocally, okay? They move opposite. We move opposite. There's a purpose to this. When you step forward with your foot, that's actually throwing your balance off. So moving your opposite arm forward counteracts that and improves your balance, okay? So if you notice a family member or yourself that you kind of lost your arm swing, you see this sometimes alert all, or you're swinging out of sync, you're not moving your arms at all. This is something you can work on, you can practice. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that. I want to thank you all for participating in this fall prevention class. I hope that you found it helpful. If you have questions, feel free to email me. At the end here, we'll zoom in on my business card. You can call me, email me. If you thought that some of these exercises weren't challenging enough for you, I'd be happy to send you a little bit more advanced exercises, or seek out a physical therapist, or there's a lot of classes in the community, fall prevention classes in the community. So great job, you guys. Thanks again. Appreciate the opportunity to share my experience with you guys. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Brenda. We don't have any questions in the chat yet.
Oh, okay.
So there aren't any questions there. If anybody wants to unmute themselves quickly and ask a question, we can do that. Otherwise, we will make sure that you get, we'll send out an email with Brenda's information on it. Okay. All right. It looks like there's no questions, Brenda.
Okay. Thank you again.
An amazing presentation as usual. I love looking at these fitness classes that Elderwerks does, because I think I pull something new from every one of them.
Yes.
And we're very fortunate to have professionals such as yours do these presentations complimentary for our seniors. So thank you very much, Brenda.
My pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Everybody have a great day.
The business card. Oh yeah. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.